Good morning and welcome to the vlog. This is Editing Ashley. I filmed the last 10 days on and off. It was a wild ride. You'll kind of see it all. The first thing we're doing is I was gearing up for the St. Paul art crawl. I did not get to vend. I was gearing up for it, even though on this day I was already in pain and something was wrong. I still thought I was going to do it. So in the first clip, you'll see me making kind of like an interactive activity where I took mini red Solo cups, glued them to cardboard, and then I spray painted it, but I didn't film that part. And then I put my little magnets, this like very small ones, in each cup and put tissue paper over it and rubber banded the tissue paper over the cup, and people are gonna like poke a hole. So it's kind of like punch a cup, but poke a hole inside of a big cup because they're small cups. And I'm gonna make it $3 to punch a hole, and you get whatever magnets inside. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do it at the St. Paul art crawl because we had a medical emergency, which you will see later in the vlog. At least I already have it made for my next market, which is coming up not tomorrow Saturday, but a week from Saturday. So on May 2nd, I will be at Midtown Farmers Market. You just saw my trip to Reba's Play Cafe. So I was kind of in the general area, and so I went down there. But I went in there, I've been in there twice. I went in there the first time and I got a chamomile tea. And the cashier, register, barista lady, she was really nice and kind. And then I went back a second time and she got food the second time. And I got a chicken pesto sandwich. And then I got a lavender lemonade. The lavender lemonade was really, really good. I really don't think you can go wrong with that. The chicken pesto sandwich, it was good, but it was like it was a pre-made sandwich that she heated up. They had a lot of drawers and stuff where you could grab bowls and spoons and stuff for little kid food, which I thought was really great for that. They didn't have any knives though, so I couldn't cut my sandwich in half, and I like to cut my sandwich in half. But overall, accessibility wise of the space of the cafe, I would rate it really, not really accessible whatsoever. A lot of, there's different rooms, and it almost feels like it was maybe a house at first instead of a cafe. There's different rooms. There was a ramp to get down to one room, but none of it looked like it was good for wheelchair seating. anywhere I like was trying to go, I was like, okay, well that area is really tight, that area is really tight. So I sat in the main little dining area at the round table, kind of in the center, and it was like up to my chest, which is a pretty tall table, which in my opinion, like, if it's like a play cafe where there's little kids, why wouldn't it be lower? I don't know. But I liked the staff. They were really friendly. They were really kind. It was the same person both times I went. But I just think accessibility-wise, they can do better, because especially if we're bringing little kids, what's accessible to disabled people is accessible to everybody. Having lower tables, having, things within reach, space to get around, that's accessible for strollers, for mothers with, carrying seats and things like that. So those are things to really think about when I go to spaces. I'm starting a new series where I'm going to local cafes. They're not chain cafes like Caribou, Starbucks, things like that. I'm going to independently, like, small owned cafes, and some of them, if it's just in the area and I Google it and I'm like, okay, where do I want to go get a coffee? So there's that. Or otherwise, I look in my Twin Cities Cafe passport that I had gotten for Christmas from my partner's mom. It was really great. And it just suggests place to go. It tells you a little bit about the place. So if it's in that passport, I'll read the description to you. Otherwise, that's kind of what we're doing. Editing Ashley here again. So with the clip with Reva's Play Cafes. So I posted the short that is of like what you see here. And I posted on Instagram and I put my honest review that their tables were a little high, that it was a little tight to get around. And the worker, and I'm pretty sure she like owns it and it's just her, but she DM'd me on Instagram and she said she knew that was a problem, but thank you for bringing it up. She said that she wants my opinion when she's working on making and building custom tables for the cafe. So the cafe will have custom tables that will be adjustable. The big thing is keeping it accessible to people of all heights, as well as watching for little places where little fingers can get in. And it's like, yep, that's as like, if you want to chat, like, we can keep going back and forth. If you want to send me like diagrams, like, we can go back and forth and let's talk together. So I'm very happy with Reva's Play Cafe that they knew something was an issue and they're working towards it, and they've been designing it for a while. They're just waiting for the summer to be able to start building it, and that's amazing. But I just wanted to like get that little update before I finish this all to say about that. In the clips that you just watched, I went to urgent care, and I went to urgent care because my left side had started really, really hurting. And on that Monday, the day I went was Friday. And what had ended up happening was I had an ovarian torsion. I talk about it a little bit later in the vlog, but I'll just talk about it here. So what happens is when you have PCOS, sometimes with pregnancy, sometimes with fibromyalgia, with cancer, things like that, the ovary can get top heavy when it's producing an egg, or in my case it produced a cyst, and it kind of tumbled over and it got caught on itself, and so it got twisted up on Monday. And I will be real, it was my 10. It was the worst pain I've ever experienced, and I sat through that from Monday to Friday. I went into work Thursday and Friday, took half days. Thursday night, I texted my boss. I was like, I have to go to urgent care tomorrow. Like, I was like, nope, it is bad. And I went in. I got there at like 10:30. They got me in right away. And by 4 o'clock, I was having surgery. So I did have emergency surgery on that Friday. I've been recovering. It is, as time of filming this, is a week post-surgery. So I feel a lot better now. I don't feel sick. I'm not running a fever anymore. I can eat food. I can do everything. I'm just sore and achy because abdominal surgery is a lot. Thankfully, it's laparoscopic, so it's like the littlest incisions. It's very not invasive. It was like a 20-30 minute surgery. I woke up within like an hour. So I'm really thankful for the doctors. The rest of the vlog is kind of everything after recovery. I'm so very grateful for everybody. So I made a meal train. A meal train is kind of like a GoFundMe, but instead of like donating money, people can also donate like gift cards or bring meals. And so many people have been so lovely in either donating to that or bringing me meals. Michelle from the Minnesota Makers, she brought me some food, and it ended up being able where I could have dinner yesterday and lunch today. So that was really nice. My partner's family sent me a little care package. It was really, really nice. It's like lotions and like chapstick and like the little things to make yourself feel a little bit better, which I was grateful for. So we have missed quite a few markets because I couldn't go to markets. Between the fracture and the ovarian torsion, I've had go of it. That being said, if you do want to support and help like with some of these medical bills and things, my website is the best place to do it. It's artbyashleyparent.squarespace.com. You can shop there. All the money is gonna go to covering bills. Unfortunately, with the ovarian torsion, it's not a workplace incident, so I will get like whatever I have for PTO is what I have. We don't have like a company thing to like cover things like this, like some companies may. So I just am using my PTO till I can't, and then probably going back to work. I have to start getting back to normal in order to be okay. So that's kind of where we're at. I had therapy yesterday, and my therapist and even the surgeon were like, you just accepted the fact. And it was like, what was my other option? Like, was my other option to get scared and cry and be like, no, I'm not gonna do this? No. Like, I understand that like that was what I needed at that time, and it still sucks. It's still miserable, but what was my other option but to accept it? Some editing past vlogs into shorts. That's what you've been seeing popping up on YouTube a lot lately, or on Instagram, maybe even Facebook. There is a Facebook with like for Art by Ashley Parent, but I don't have access to it. I can only schedule posts to it. I can kind of get access to messages, but there is that. We are gearing up to the next shop launch, which has been the video has been coming up recently, but I still need to finish photography and editing and things like that, and that's kind of going on a day-by-day basis. I'm gonna edit this till 1 o'clock, and then I have to turn over and do homework because unfortunately being a student doesn't stop even when you have medical emergencies. So I have a bunch of articles I have to read to build a website. It's like a gorgeous 70 degrees outside, so I'm on the patio getting some homework done. I needed a place to sit that had like a low enough table, and this worked really well. So today's pain-wise is doing a little bit better than was doing yesterday or the day before. It's 2:30 and I can already go outside, so we're doing great. Probably won't be out here for more than like half an hour because I'm already starting to get a little tired, but let's get some homework done. It is Wednesday, April 22nd. The river is right there in the background, if you can see her. overnight last night, we got an order off Pango. So if you don't know what Pango is, it's kind of like Facebook Marketplace where you can kind of sell used things, but it's specifically for books or bookish items. So when I go through my bookshelf, which you've seen me do in the vlogs before, I put all the books on Pango before I go ahead and wrap them up as blind dates with a book. So I kind of cycle through them. But the book that sold overnight is this one. It's called The New Topping Book. It's a sexual health book. I was gifted a bunch of sex ed books, and a lot of them are no longer really relevant to what I'm working on in my studies. I put them on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, and Pango. So whenever one book sells, I have to pull it off all three. But we're gonna go ahead and package this book up. I did not have a bubble mailer, which is these, like little envelopes with bubble wrap inside. I don't have one big enough for the book, and this is a fairly small book. But when I first started my business about 3 to 4 years ago, I bought a bunch of boxes. They are 9 by 6 by 4, so I'm just gonna pad it really well. What I'm gonna do is kind of pat it in here. So that's kind of how it's in there. It's like sandwiched in between bubble mailers. I try to write a note with my orders, along with giving a business card to my website and my Etsy, a coupon code, and I always try to throw in a few freebies. So these were just some stickers that we're laying out. This one says gender is like a coffee order, unique to each person. This is my upsetty spaghetti sticker. And then this is my in this house sticker. It's a miscut, but it's if you remember during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement, they made signs and stuff like in this house, Black Lives Matter, women's rights or human rights, everything like that. But they forgot accessible. They forgot disabled and trans people on the sign, so I put them on here. So this one says, in this house we believe Black Lives Matter, accessibility is the standard, women's rights are human rights, trans people are people, no human is illegal, science is real, love is love, and kindness is everything. So I adjusted the sign because I didn't see myself in it, and I was like, well, as a non-binary disabled person, like, if we're being inclusive, like, I should be at the table. Really making sure it's nice and cushioned in there. And now I take this package to the front office and they give it to USPS when yesterday I scheduled an interview for tomorrow. The interview is for an elementary PE position as a PE teacher. So what I do for interviews is I print out the job description, my resume, my transcripts, my reference list, and I printed out everything that's needed. I went on this company, like the school's website, and I printed a couple things off of there, like their school report. I printed a couple of other things just so I can kind of take notes and be like, oh, blah, 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 because really the best thing you can do in an interview is show that you know about the school and that you researched it, especially in teaching, but really for anything, is just show that you know about the company and that you aren't just being like, well, I just need a job, like, I don't care. Like, you have to somewhat play a role. Like, you have to play that you want the shop, that, like, you need this, not that you need it, but that they need you. So I printed out kind of like the who are we, so like our mission statement of the school. I printed out the thing about the responsive classrooms, because it looks like they are very art focused, but also there's specific kind of teaching that they do, and at every school they're different, so it really depends on what they want versus what I do. And then I printed out their annual report, because they actually had it on their website, and I printed out their most recent monthly newsletter, so I can read it and be like, oh, this is what's going on right now. Maybe I'll go look at some of the past newsletters later, but I'm not sure. But I really want this position. I really want to be able to kind of get out of the daycare. As much as I love the kids that I work with, they're not the group that I want to work with. I want to teach health or PE, preferably health, but I am excited for an opportunity to teach PE because it's new. It's something that I am going to school for, so I hope I get it. But that's tomorrow morning, and we don't really have to do anything until about 2 o'clock today. Today at 3, I will be at my hair lady's place. Her coworker is going to help me wash my hair. One of the really hard things with getting emergency surgery is I wash my hair like every week, like once a week. And it was hair washing day the night of the surgery, or like the next day was. So my hair's been really gross, but I can't sit in the shower long enough to get it washed and not like pass out or throw up or something. So I asked her, I was like, is there any way that I could just come in for a hair wash? Like, literally, that's all I'm asking. And she's so sweet and kind. She's like, of course I got you, like, no biggie. She was like, I can't do it, but Claire can do it. So I'm gonna go see Claire, and Claire's gonna wash my hair. We're gonna go on the patio here in a minute, kind of read all this, and then I think I'm gonna bring my novel out there to read as well. Editing Ashley here to explain the clip that you're about to see. So before my hair appointment on April 22nd, I went over to a local coffee shop like 5 minutes down the road from my hair place. It was called Fox Coffee. It's Fawkes coffee. It is in Minneapolis. So you see my best attempt at filming while walking, because I have to put my phone in my purse to film and move, because I need both hands to push the chair. So sometimes it's at an upward angle, and I'm still working on figuring out how to angle things right when I'm pushing. But I went to Fox Coffee. I got a tea. You're going to see where I went from the parking lot, and I went to their back entrance and kind of had to go through the back to get in, because the front is all stairs, which I'm so appreciative of an accessible entrance, but the accessible parking nearby was not great. Overall, accessibility-wise of this coffee shop, amazing. Now for my review of Fox Coffee. So overall, accessibility was great. I didn't go up to any of the tables, like to fully like height check it, but they very much looked like they're around the same height that I need them to be. Like they're a good height for tall people and shorter people. Kind of, they're all about a standard height. There was room to get around the tables. It was a larger space. I understand not all independent coffee shops have the luxury of a large space and they want to maximize seating, but there's kind of a fine line between maximizing seating and also having accessibility. So I went in, the accessible entrance was through the side door. You kind of had to go in, then you went into a hallway, and then you kind of found it. There's not really obvious signage, so that was what made it hard for me. Better signage, just being like, coffee shop this way, this way, because there's a lot of businesses kind of like in that back hallway alley thing. The accessible parking was not great. There was accessible spots up front over near the entrance I found after the fact, so it wasn't clearly marked, it wasn't easy to find, and the landing zones were not where they should be. So the landing zone, that is those little lines, diagonal lines, right next to accessible spot. They are for people like with wheelchairs or people who need more space. The wider ones are for people with mobility aids, specifically like wheelchairs that need to get out of the car, because most ramps let out on the passenger side, which is why it's there. So when I get out of the car, like, it takes me a good more than like 8, more than whatever it gives me, the ramp, because I kind of like slide down and stop. So I need that room on those bigger areas. Their landing zones were on the driver's side, so they're not in the right spot. They're not even wide enough to be considered accessible, in my opinion. When I got into the coffee shop, it was really great, and I understand that the coffee shop cannot help with this parking lot because it looks like it's a city parking lot. The area to pay for parking was a little bit hard to get to as a wheelchair user. It was right next to the accessible spot, but it was like there was a lot of pulls and stuff to get to it, so I had to make a wide turnaround, and there's a steep ramp. So I did love the coffee shop. I may go back. It really depends on how accessibility is. Overall, on accessibility of the coffee shop itself, I would rate it about a 3 on 5. Inside, super amazing. The staff was super amazing, super accommodating, helped with everything. There just needs to be more signage on how to get there from the back entrance. I did check out the bathroom. The bathroom is down the hall. It's not in the coffee shop. It is like a single stall gender neutral bathroom, which I am appreciative. Again, just wish there was more signage to make it easily accessible to know where I was going. This is where we're going to end the vlog here. I know it's only a few days like of vlog footage instead of a whole week like I usually do, but it's already 30 minutes long, so I'm gonna wrap it up here, get it exported and up to YouTube, and then hit subscribe if you want to see more content like this, want to see when products are launching. There will be a product launch soon. I know I just had a whole bunch of videos of product prep, and then the last video you saw before this was photography day, and then I kind of stopped filming and stopped honestly doing market prep and store prep and all that because of all the medical stuff that you saw earlier in this vlog. Hit like if you like the vloggy style of the video of the day in my life. Go ahead and follow me on my Instagram, linked below in the description, along with my website and my Etsy shop. On my website and Etsy shop, I just redid a couple listings. I redid all of the listing for the book weights, so they're a little bit easier to understand, and I describe how to use it, and there is a listing photo. It's the third photo on every single listing that will show you exactly how to use it, and in the description I explain how to use the book weight. And then I also took the listing for my blind date with a book, the pre-loved edition, and I split it up by genre. So now you can get science fiction, you can get historical fiction, self-help, young adult, and I think I have a horror novel as well. So go check out my website and my Etsy shop. Once those books are gone, they're gone. I will be restocking Blind Date with a book at the next shop update as well.